and then you have a premier say, if George Bush lands here, we will arrest him. Do you know how that affects our politics as a country? We could have drones coming to bomb us here because of something as reckless as that. If a Cyril Ramaphosa and if a Naledi Pandor don't call that person to order and they tell him, you can't say that. That affects our sovereignty as a nation. Very good afternoon and a warm welcome to the virtual Mkhukhu with myself and DJ Sbuda. I just want to wish each and every worker in the country a happy Workers' Day, which is the 1st of May. I think it's the 1st of May. A happy Workers' Day. And from my side, just personally, my son, Uzulu Khosi, turns 10 years old today. So a very happy birthday to my boy. I love you very much, Donayam. I hope you could. Lapha eNyukasela to Siswako and the rest of the family. I'm never alone in Hamba no Sbuda, the real Makoya. DJ Sbu, how are you doing?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
No, I'm good.
Lovely. It's Zulu's birthday today.
Zulu's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday to Zulu.
Ingane ziyakhula nathi siyaguga. Kubi.
Sibona ngeingane nayikhula ukuthi iminyaka iyahamba.
No, of course.
I missed you. It's good to see you. I haven't seen you.
I'm happy to see you. I saw an amazing picture of you and your daughter. I think you were at a Gold Reef or some exotic place.
Gold Reef City, Papa Lab. And then Nasera Anaconda, she's changing her mind. I'm like, but there's no change in your mind anymore. But she was going on and on. I want to be on the Anaconda. I want to be on the Anaconda. Man. As soon as that thing when they locked
started crying.
She started crying.
But that's amazing for her. That stuff builds courage.
They say so, yeah. I always enjoy spending time with my little ones.
Have you been taking care of yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. I can't complain. I know you've had flu.
I've had flu, man. Change of season. As you guys know, change of season. Children. So it's Zulu's birthday. His youngest brother, Skupu, Unyanga, had flu. I had him for a weekend, last weekend. And that little guy went and he got me sick.
Yeah.
But both him and I are much better. And I think him giving me flu is better than getting the flu vaccine. So he's my flu vaccine. Feeling much better, feeling much stronger. I remember during COVID or during the hard lockdown, so none of us got sick.
Yeah.
Now that we're all out in the open, all of a sudden, now but I'm good. I'm fully recovered.
No, I'm glad you're good. The last episode that we recorded, Amachitapa and Amautuam said I must pass on the message of thank you. I must thank you for pouring out on camera. It really did touch a lot of people.
Sure.
When we spoke about fatherhood, that episode.
Thank you for giving me the platform, man. Thank you for the people that were touched. More than anything, which is what I was trying to highlight, I think, in that conversation, is there are so many men that are dying inside because we have told ourselves, you must be a man, you must, The reality is if you die inside, it's almost like if you think of apartheid and the struggle. If all of us as black people were being oppressed, but you kept quiet, and other nations were asking, what's going on? You're like, no, don't worry, it's okay. We would have never gotten liberation or the liberation that we have today. So I was hoping that my telling my story is going to spark so many other young men, our squatters, our hustlers, to tell their stories as well so that we can try and help, so that we can guide them. This is how you approach the law. This is how you should maybe approach the mother's family. This is what maybe you can do to access your child, etc., etc. So I was doing it for that. But thank you to you for the platform to share my story, because we were speaking about something else, and then you were like, "No, Pen, please, Ntwana, just Portla, just let it all out." And I want to thank you for that.
Yeah, and I hope that does get resolved, because it's a very big matter. I mean, I think just in the past week, 3 guys who kept on referencing that episode.
Yeah.
And, just when you think it's going to be a 3-5 minute call, it ends up being an hour's call when this person on the other side is pouring out to you because they were watching that episode. And I really, really felt sometimes we take for granted the work that we're doing. So, I just want to thank you for that. And I like the fact that this content lives on for longer online. So other people will keep on pumping into it.
Yeah.
It'll keep on being some form of healing to Amachita out there. Guys, let's play our role. As I did say, Ugutinami this year, keeping myself in check, that I don't think I've been the greatest father than I've ever been in all these other years. And ever since I said that to you, I made sure things change.
Siabong.
Yeah.
You've had a lot of businesses. Some have succeeded, some have failed, some are still pending.
Most have failed.
You've had a lot of workers, a lot of employees. As someone who has been an employee, radio, TV, other spaces, and as someone who's now been an employer, what does Workers' Day mean to you? What do you think Workers' Day should mean to our hustlers and our squatters out there, especially with the high unemployment rates we have in this country?
I think workers are the backbone of any economy, but since many, many years ago, how things were structured, I really don't think workers are treated fairly in most companies. I don't think workers are paid well in most companies. And I think a lot of things should change. But Workers' Day for me just means taking pride in the work that we do, the service that we are to our organizations that we belong to, and just being a part of that backbone for the country. Because even the small businesses that we advocate for, those small businesses ran and employ people. A small business employs 3 people or 5 people or 7 people. And the more small businesses we have, the more people are employed. But for all of us to be speaking this entrepreneurship word and throwing it around, it's because of the workers that get these companies working and being productive. So I really do think we could do better in treating our employees and just us as workers as well. I think we could do better in being greater workers. So Workers' Day for me means more than just what's going on today, but it takes me back to history as to where this day comes from in South Africa.
Do you think employers are doing enough for their workers? It's one thing to have a holiday, but it's not like Valentine's, there's no flowers, bonus. It's just a holiday. Do you think employees actually take their time to be like, guys, Workers' Day is coming up. I want to do something nice for you because of you, I have a company. And if you think they're not, do you maybe have any ideas of what you think people could be doing better?
It's a very good question. I think we're not, especially us as business owners. I think we could do more, even in understanding our workers' needs and our environments and what it takes for them to even just to get to work. I think, sometimes we laugh around. I once heard, we always hear voice notes that will go viral, where you're hearing voice notes on some, I want to see you at work. I don't fucking care if you whatever. I want to see you at work. We don't actually really care. Because we don't know what's going on the other side. 100%. Some people use take 3 texts to get to work at 8 o'clock. But that person has been awake since maybe 3 or 4 a.m. Because they're coming from very, very far. So those conditions and even the conditions that they work under at work and even benefits, I don't even think we are kind enough to give better benefits to our workers. I think that could improve. We could improve it as business owners.
No, thank you very much. I think from my side, I just want to say to all the squatters, all the hustlers out there, if you have a job, first and foremost, please cherish it. There are so many people begging for jobs. If you ever drive to the traffic lights, if you're ever just traveling the country, and you guys know some of your extended family members or some of your siblings who are desperate for Ispan. Our graduates, people with tertiary qualifications, 40% of them don't have jobs. And then the rest of the country, people looking for jobs, I think we have over 50%. If you include people that aren't even looking for work, it's probably even higher. So please cherish your job, number one. Please try and build a better relationship with your employer. And then to all the employers out there, all the business owners, and maybe even to government, are you guys doing enough to thank the workers? Because the tax comes from the workers. If you look at the fact that people are rich, they're rich because they have workers. So I think we have a responsibility to thank our workers. And if you're working out there, especially if you're old and you have kids and grandkids that rely on you, we're really thankful and we're hoping that the youth will rise up higher and do more. Because as you said, workers are the backbone. In time, I really hope we can have this conversation of how we can make the infrastructure of this country more conducive to work. What do I mean by that? You have got people that have got free houses, RTP, that send their kids to free schools, no fee schools. They have free healthcare. A lot of those people are not working. Social welfare, they can't afford it. Now imagine if every employee we had in this country had a free house, sent their kids to free schools, had free healthcare and didn't have medical aid. That means all of a sudden your 5,000 Rand, 10,000 Rand, 20,000 Rand you're earning doesn't have to pay for rent, doesn't have to pay for your child's education, doesn't have to pay for quality healthcare. And maybe even the transport, the train, the taxi, etc. are free. That means you can actually maximize. And not only are you an employee, you can take your 15,000 and you can create jobs at home and hire a domestic worker and a gardener and maybe open a little shop, whatever the case may be. So we need to rewire our thinking in terms of the money we have and how we can ensure that our workers, to what you were saying, people waking up at 3, at 4 in the morning to catch trains and buses, it's heartbreaking, and it doesn't speak to what we're trying to do as a country. It breaks my heart. But again, a real happy Workers' Day to all of you. If you're resting, enjoy your rest. If you're having a good time, have a good time. But this day is yours. You know how much work you put in. You know how much value you add to society, the economy, to grant recipients. There are people that get to feed their children, send their kids to school because of you. And from my side, Siyantanda bafowethu, we love you very much.
And there's a lot of companies that make a lot of money out of workers.
Yeah.
So much so that they even do deals with their employers that they're able to debit them even before the money hits their bank accounts. And a lot of people are rich because of workers. So it's always important for us on days like these to remember why a lot of other people are successful. They should appreciate the workers.
Yeah.
So other people's businesses exist because of those debits that they take from millions and millions of workers all over the country. Insurance companies, policy companies, banks, and all these different companies, you know?
Thank you so much.
And a few days ago, it was Freedom Day. Maybe I'll take you back there, although it's just past, but it was just a few days ago. As in South Africa, you know, we love creative long weekends. What does Freedom Day mean to you? Are we free or are we dumb?
Yeah, so this is one of the deepest questions, not just for South Africans, but for human beings as a whole, because it's in the same vein as what is your purpose? You know, why are we here? Are you free? What does freedom mean to you? I think before I forget, guys, all of you who are new to this channel, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button. Please don't forget to click on the notification bell so that you watch all of our videos that come through. And to all of the people who are on this channel who have been here since the beginning, since we started with the Hustlers Corner and gave birth to the virtual Mkhukhu, we love you guys very much. We appreciate you guys very much. Please keep sharing our content. Please keep commenting. Siyantanda bafowethu. And what that means in Nguni language in South Africa is we love you guys very, very much. Not just to the South Africans, but to everyone around the world. Are we free or are we dumb? We fought during the struggle historically in this country. And at the time, I would like to believe we were fighting to be seen as human. We were fighting for our dignity. What that means is to be acknowledged as a human being that is equal in mind and stature as anyone else. I also believe we were fighting for our land that we believe was infiltrated under British colonialism. A lot of black Africans, in particular the Nguni people, came from up north. But we came here and we settled. We didn't come and kill and colonize and force the Khoi and San to speak our languages. We didn't make them slaves. We came and we settled peacefully. We had our own fights amongst each other over territory because people have always fought over land. And then the British colonialists came here, and then it became worse with the Afrikaans apartheid regime, which forcefully removed, including my mom, my grandma, my father, my grandfather, forced them off their land where they were living peacefully, trying to make a life for themselves. They were not mining commercially. They were not farming commercially. They were not building. So you can't even argue that they were competing in terms of trade. They were living peacefully, taking care of themselves. And the apartheid government felt it necessary to shaft black people, colored people from their homes into what we now know as townships, which are glorified concentration camps. So we fought for that, and we also fought for inclusivity in the economy. We wanted to play a part. We wanted to mine. We wanted to farm. We wanted to manufacture. We wanted to export. We wanted to import. We wanted the rest of the world to also see us as human. And then came 1990, 1994, where we celebrated. We are now free. Hey, we get to vote. And we voted aggressively for Nelson Mandela's ANC, Oliver Tambo's ANC, Walter Sisulu's ANC back in the day. 30 years later, we look at it now, and some of us are asking ourselves questions of what exactly were we voting for, and have we got what we voted for? We had a Freedom Charter which spoke about the people that live on this land. We had a Freedom Charter that spoke about education. And I'd like to think we spoke about education in the sense that Joshua Maponga speaks of. The ability to acquire the skills and the knowledge to be able to go and fix your problems at home and in your community. Today we speak about load shedding, speak about broken SOEs, we speak about potholes, we speak about social grant recipients that have gone all the way up to 30 million people. We speak about schools that still don't have toilets. We still speak about people that use the bucket toilet system. Where for people that may not know in the rest of the world watching this, there are people in South Africa who, when they need to relieve themselves, have to do so in a bucket because they never got a chance to get flushable toilets, sanitation in their homes. Again, we speak about dignity. There's no dignity for those people. Our children are unemployed. We're thanking the workers today. But our children are unemployed. They are poor. They are begging. Some of our beautiful young girls have gone to the extent of sleeping with men for money. Not because it's nice to sleep with men, but because they know the situation at home and they got an education, but they don't have a job. They've gone to beg for work and everyone at work is trying to sleep with them just to be a receptionist. And they've surrendered and said, look, if I'm going to feed my family, if I'm going to build back home, I guess I'll do it through sleeping with men. And they have lost their dignity even further. We see the same with young boys who today are involved in drugs, who are involved in crime. You know, there are guys that are hijacking in this country, not because it's nice to be it's because they're like, I need to feed my people back home. So if the government is not going to create an enabling environment, if the economy is not going to create an enabling environment, and I go home every day and I have to look into the eyes of my children, and I have to go home and I have to watch my grandmother walking with a stick, struggling, what do you want me to do? You tell me what I must do as you're out. I wasn't good at school. I wasn't an athlete. I've tried. I beg. I go on the streets with a cardboard and everyone laughs and they post on Facebook. People that I grew up with are now living large because some of them were good at school. They're doctors today. Some of them, they're in government, but I'm attend. What must I do? Because I also want to live okay with my family.
So I should end up just taking this 100,000 rands check and becoming Kabi once and go kill that person.
What do we say to those people?
With this 100,000 rands, I'll be able to feed my family at least for the next couple of months. I'll be able to go buy a car. I'll be able to, if I kill another person, that's another 100,000. I'll be able to get a house. So people have gotten into the extent of becoming unintentional assassins.
Yes. What do we say to those people? What do we say to people that have to lie on NSFAS applications, which is fraud? Speak about crimes. Speak about the police and traffic officers that take bribes. What do we have to do? So what is the concept of freedom? The concept of freedom at its basic core is a psychological concept. It's the concept that I feel like I'm not constrained by anything. You can be naked. You don't need to have a house. You don't need to have clothes. You don't need to have money. But you say, I'm free, like a bird, like an ape. An ape doesn't have a house and education and money, but they are free. So what is freedom? Is freedom having a house? Is freedom having money? Is it having a job? We speak about political freedom where we can now vote for any political party we want. That's nice, but do we have freedom of land? Do we have freedom of movement? Yes, you do. But there are places I can't get into because it requires money I don't have. So how free is my movement if I need a passport which costs money? If I need money to get into the Kruger National Park where my ancestors would just roam free with the animals? Is that really freedom of movement where I get into a suburb and I get told by security guards, you can't go past here, there's a boom gate? So what exactly is freedom? Because are we free to actually exercise our supposed political rights, freedoms? Can you only be free if you understand politics, if you understand money, if you have a job, if you earn an income, if you have a passport? So Trevor Noah is free because he can live in America. He's got a lot of money. He can befriend any person he wants. Rich, poor, it doesn't matter. He can wake up anytime he wants. He can come back to South Africa and spend time with his family. He can go to Germany and go. Maybe he's free. But for the next person who doesn't have a passport, who doesn't have money, what is freedom to you? What is freedom to us? This is why I'm saying it's a deep question, because at some level it becomes personal. You will find a young boy, young girl in a shack, in an informal settlement, in a squatter camp, who wakes up every morning and smiles. They have some spinach, they have some chickens. They get to listen to piano blind. They get to be with someone that they love. They get to see their father every day. There's a child in Bryanston, in Morningside, Mkhukhu today, who lives in a mansion, whose dad earns 500,000 a month, but his dad is never there. His mom is an executive of whatever, but his mom has never hugged him. The only hugs he gets is from the help. So it's a personal thing, but from a country's perspective, considering that we celebrate it as a country, if you look at what people died for, or Solomon Mahlangu, or Bantu Biko, or Mangaliso Sobukwe, and everyone else, what they fought for the dignity of black, colored, Indian South Africans, we have not received it. And the ANC has done nothing but be a gatekeeper for the incumbents of the past to ensure that only an elite minority gets to taste what we called freedom then. And the rest of us sit on the other side, even with a degree at diploma, even with good English, even with an ability to want to work. And by and large, we have been failed. And this has become just another long weekend day where political slogans, hey, it was nice, you know, the people that died for our country. And you're like, but the reality is you guys are not putting in the work. But then it goes back to the individual. And come 2024, who are you going to vote for? Every single day, we've spoken about this menu every single day. Who are you spending your money with? Which beverages are you drinking? Because with our money, with our labor, with our votes, with the things we even say on social media, we have an ability to give ourselves freedom every single day. But unfortunately, we do not have the right leaders that are telling us that, number one, with great freedom comes great responsibility. But if you want the freedom, no one will ever give it to you. You have to go out and take it. And once you've taken it, you then have to preserve it. And if you think it's going to come from the ANC or the EFF or the DA or the IFP, if you think it's going to come from your father or your school, it's not. It comes from within you. Trevor Noah, last I checked, never went to tertiary. His mom couldn't afford it. He didn't go to fancy tertiary institutions. Intwana yavuka every day yakhareza yaphusha. Khona intwana sethembisa bizwa ngosibusiso liyope. Every single day bivuka ikhareza. When the most educated kids that have the highest qualifications from international universities, Rhodes Scholars, studied at Oxford, they have not had the ability to build a beverage company. They have not had the ability to build online radio stations, to empower people through record labels. So it is really up to you and how badly do you want it. And if you want it bad enough, go take it. And then after you take it, preserve it. And where possible, like Harriet Tubman back in the day in America, go and save other slaves that want to be free. And the ones that don't know that they are slaves or that think they are winning while wearing gold chains, because it's nice to have a vehicle installment and a bond and to every day go and cow it down to a boss. Leave that one. That's a happy slave. Go and free the people that want to be freed and show them what is possible. Show them what is possible in this world that has been given to us by God or nature or whatever belief system that you have to ignite yourself. And if it means going to live in the mountains and drink river water and eat from the earth and be naked, if that's your freedom, go get it. No one is stopping you. No one is stopping you. Go get your freedom. That's what it means to me.
The new electoral amendment bill, the president just signed it into law 3 weeks ago. What does it mean? I don't understand it. I'm a layman in the street. Please make me understand it. Does it mean that now we can vote for independence? If we go vote for a Ntlantla-Lax, or we go vote for a Penuel, or we go vote for a Tutuzani Zuma who says is running independently of the ANC, what does that mean? Why can't we vote for him running under the ANC? Or what does this new law mean? I'm just an ordinary person walking down the street. Please simplify it for me. The electoral amendment bill, what does it mean?
I'd like to give you 5. I saw you've been doing selfie videos.
Oh, inspired by you. Thank you. Ngiyabonga.
No, phela mina ngi-influencer blind, guys. You must know.
Blind.
You must know.
And by the way, let me just throw that in, guys. We're on a 365-day YouTube challenge. We're encouraging you to grow your small pages, to trigger the YouTube algorithms so your accounts get to grow quicker. Instead of waiting for fancy cameras, lighting, makeup, I think you'll get all of those things as we go. But for now, I think don't be shy. And I've shown you with me, guys. Sometimes I do videos, but I'm trying to encourage you guys to grow your YouTube platforms. I interviewed a sister by the name of Lelo N, and she said to me, I must just press record. Boom. And the first person that came to mind was you, because you always record videos from your phone.
Yeah.
And then I just started, and then I just saw YouTube's algorithms getting triggered on my YouTube channel, and then I just started seeing it grow. When I started that, I think my YouTube was on 60,000. It's probably on almost 70,000 in hardly a month. So it has triggered the algorithms. And I am on a journey with a whole lot of you guys who do follow me. So I'm encouraging you as well. I know it's going to take time. I know it might take a couple of years, but you will thank yourself later for building yourself your own platform. And yes, we still don't own these platforms, but at least a YouTube one, you can monetize it later. And for those unemployed young people, you can then use it as a form of income. You can make money out of it. Sorry, but thank you.
I want to say thank you so much for being an ambassador of everything we keep speaking about from last year. Guys, just grab a phone. This bad boy here. Tell your story. Don't wait for SAPC or the virtual Mkhukhu or the Hustlers Corner to invite you. Tell your story. You might find that when you start telling your story, that's when they'll start inviting you. Thank you so much for being an ambassador, for saying your piece, for answering, for speaking to people. You've always led the way in showing hustlers how it's done. And I want to thank you for that. I know you used to make Facebook Lives, you used to make Facebook videos by yourself, but you're showing people now that if you're going to say, I can't afford cameras, I can't afford, those are just excuses. And we are way past that. This bad boy here changed your life. So thank you so much, Buddha.
And
I really appreciate it.
Thank you for showing us that it can be done. I'm just being humble and being teachable and leading by example.
Thank you.
And then as time goes, I will improve my sets, my cameras, etc. But let's just start. Isn't it with everything else in life? Just start.
With everything else in life, just start. I have to ask you this question because it is so fundamentally important to our existence. Before I answer you, never mind Freedom Day, but what is freedom to you? How do you understand freedom, and do you believe that you are free?
I think now I am, but I've had to work hard for it. But still, as much as I feel I've had to work hard for it, meaning I don't have to wake up and go somewhere so that I can earn a living at the end of the month. I've worked hard I've already done that for many years, building a business so it can look after myself and my family. So at least I'm free there.
From a financial perspective.
From a financial
You don't have
perspective.
to chase money. You have built systems so that you work when you want to, need to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And also working for money comes with certain conditions. You have to look a certain way. You have to dress a certain way. You have to speak a certain way. You have to carry yourself in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I'm free of all of that come with an employment.
Yeah.
Or a certain type of behavior that one should have, or in social media language, how one should move in those corporate circles or in that work environment. I'm free of all of that. And from the financial perspective, frees you of a lot of things where you don't have to look a certain way, sound a certain way, behave a certain way, be at a certain place at a certain time. And because I'm passionate about business, I continuously move on to other ventures to try and build other businesses, as I've always done with all of my life. And as I've said, most, if not more than 95% of them have failed.
Yeah.
And I still don't stop. I still continue to try and build others. I think it's something that is in me. And I have shared it most of the times. It's because of my mother. I grew up around a mother who was owning a salon. Chigi, in a couple of years later, his salon is not doing well. She's selling clothes. Chigi. She's opened up a cleaning company. Chigi, you know what I mean? So growing up around a person like that, without even me being aware, has turned me into that type of a person. So even if I've built a business that is growing with a team, with my business partners, with a lot of help, of course, I don't stop being in pursuit of that. I continuously do it, but at the same time, I share information online. But also in terms of freedom mentally, and what I think being free means for me, to me, I would like to believe that for the greater part, yes, I am free. But sometimes it's not nice to be in that environment all by yourself when everybody else isn't. There's a quote that says, none of us are free unless all of us are.
Yeah.
So even if you can be in that position, in the world that we're living in the country that we're living in, you don't even feel that way because you're pretty much I wouldn't say I'm the only one, but yeah, I understand that I'm not free until everybody else is. That's why I will then share information, try and share a little bit of what I know. I don't know much, but the little that I do know, I think what sets me apart is that I'm a doer. I've said it on your interview, on your platform, on the Penuel show. But what sets me apart is that I'm an executor.
Yeah.
Just the example that we're just talking about now of saying, let's grow our YouTube channels, let's flip out our phones and record. I'm doing it myself. So I'm a doer. And that has taken me far in life. those are the little things that I share with other people so as to try and bring them on this journey that we are on so that they also can be free one day. And the messages that one has been preaching over the years, there's some people out there who will bump into and say, thank you for freeing me, my brother. Following you has made me think this way, has made me start my own journey. I've had a lot of challenges, but this is what I've achieved. Today, I've built this firm. Today, I've built this company because of you, my brother. Thank you. I'm in this position today because of you, but none of us are free until we all are. That's my mindset.
Thank you. You believe you earned your freedom? And do you think everyone should earn their freedom? Because you said you think you feel free now.
The biggest thing that earned me my freedom is financial freedom that I've had to work hard for to be in this position that I'm in. Because of the system that we're in, sadly, I think for now, for those who want to be in my position, that's how structurally, systematically, South Africa is. You have to earn your freedom.
And then you pass it on to your kids who maybe haven't earned it. Do you think that's fine? From a financial perspective, like when you're inheriting in you.
I love what you're saying. It's a beautiful, beautiful follow-up question. What that does is it forces you to, from when they're still little, train them to earn the little compliments that you give them. Training them to earn getting a trip to go to Gold Reef City. Even though it's not far, it's just around the corner. But at least you've done 1, 2, 3 tasks. Congratulations, well done. Now we'll go to Gold Reef City. If you pass this year, I'll get you that bike. So as to inculcate a culture of earning what they're working hard for. So you don't just give it to them where they come from a wealthy family and everything is just afforded to them easily.
Because otherwise they lose it. Thank you so much. Guys, I just want to send my love, my condolences, my sympathies to everyone who's a victim of the conflict in Sudan. We had to evacuate 77 South Africans in Khartoum, which is the capital city in Sudan. There's conflict there. There's been conflict there. I think for the rest of us who don't really study geopolitics and continental politics, please go and read up on all the conflicts on the continent and around the world. Familiarize yourself with what's happening, because you might find there are so many things we can learn from there, which we can implement here, or there's so many things we can learn from there to avoid similar things happening here. What saddens me is your CNNs and your Foxes and your BBCs are speaking about what's happening in Sudan, but you find a lot of our local African leaders are not, and they almost don't have a stance. And Sudan has been in conflict for a long time. The Democratic Republic of the Congo has been in conflict for a long time, and a lot of this is capitalist driven by foreign entities that are looking to milk. When we lost Muammar Gaddafi in Libya, it was because of things like this. So please go familiarize yourself. My love, my sympathies, my heart goes out to everyone who's a victim in Sudan or who knows someone who's a victim in Sudan. And I think some of us need to start becoming more vocal with what's happening on the continent, because in one way or another, it does end up impacting us. We speak every day about Russia and Ukraine, but we can't even speak about our own continent where there's been conflict, about some of the bombings that have happened by the USA in Somalia. We need to speak about some of those things. I just needed to say that. I sat with Dr. Michael Louis in Cape Town, who is the founder of the One South Africa movement, which has been pushing for independent candidates and electoral reform in South Africa. These are nice English words. Essentially, what has come out is the way we vote in South Africa is unconstitutional. We have a constitution which is essentially our Bible as a country. It is our beginning. It is our alpha and omega as a country. If you're not sure of if the president is acting right, if you're not sure of if something is wrong, if you're not sure if something is legal or illegal, if you should be helping Mkhukhu or a child or whatever, you refer to the constitution as the beginning and the end of this country, and it is our foundation. The way we have been voting is unconstitutional because we have been asked to vote for political parties. So I can't vote for Sbuda. Sbuda has to go and join the ANC or the DA before I vote for him. And Dr. Michael Louis, One South Africa movement, and many other people, we've had Mandisa Mashiko as well, speak about this on this platform and on the Hustlers Corner. Electoral reform to say, no, you shouldn't have to join a political party. So now we've had independent candidates come up. In the last local elections, there were a lot of independent candidates. And President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa has signed in a bill to ensure that independent candidates can run in the 2024 national and provincial elections. We win. We celebrate. Tutuzane Zuma can run independent, Gates and McKenzie can run independent, Chris Papas and Tlantla Lax, Vusi Tembekwayo, DJ Sbu. The reality is that legislation that was signed in that policy has got a lot of funny parts to it, which Dr. Michael Louis, if you ever get a chance to go and watch, maybe I'll put it in the comments here. Go watch the very short conversation I had with him speaking about that. The independents are being throttled by the political parties now. Politics is a very nasty game. It is a game of power. Just like business is a game of money. These guys will not let go of power. If I'm in power, why would I want Tlantla Lax, Chris Papas, DJ Sbu, a pen to run and chow my people? Why would I want even a breakaway person? Let's say a Jacob Zuma, maybe a Thabo Mbeki, maybe a Aaron Motsoaledi, maybe a Naledi Pando. Why would I want them to be able to just break away and run their own thing and run as an independent? It will weaken me. So I will make sure in whatever legislation I sign through that it makes it as difficult as possible. There's a requirement for 1,000 signatures, of which all those signatures need to be verified, which Dr. Michael Louis says I think it takes on average about 6 hours to verify one signature. So 6 hours times 6,000 for an average person. You need a budget. That's already difficult. You need money to sign up. When you get the people to vote for you, which is difficult, if you get a seat, all the extra votes are not yours to assign where you want. They get chucked back into the pot for other it's a mess. So we're not where we want to be, but we've started making some movements towards where we should be, which is constitutionally saying if we are a democratic nation, any single person in this country should be able to stand up and say, I am putting my hand up to lead. I shouldn't need money. I shouldn't need huge posters. If there are people out there who say they see Upenwell as a leader and we want to follow him, they should have the right to be able to vote. Come next year's national provincial election, we're going to have 3 ballots. We're going to have the one with the political parties national. We're going to have a provincial ballot, as we've had in the past. And then there's going to be a 3rd ballot for independence.
So there's going to be a 3rd ballot now.
We're going to have a 3rd ballot where people are going to be able to vote for independent candidates. How that's going to look, etc., we're still not sure now. And we are still trying to educate ourselves. I don't think the IEC, the Independent Electoral Commission, is doing enough. Whoever works for the IEC, squatters, hustlers out there, if you work for the IEC, whoever your bosses are, please tell them the black pen on the virtual Mkhukhu said you guys are not doing enough. If you guys fundamentally care about this country, about this nation, some of you have jobs because of people that died during the struggle. If you guys care about this country, you need to make sure that you are doing more to educate the people of this country of how to vote, how to be politically active. We had 17 million people that voted at the last national elections. 17 million. Out of 26 million registered voters. 17 million voted out of 26 million. We have 26 million registered voters out of 40 million people that are over 18 who can vote. South Africans are not voting, and a lot of them it's because the IEC has not made it as easy as it can be. We have got technology. We have got, I think Capitec has 20 million people that bank with Capitec. Facebook has got close to 30 million users. WhatsApp has got, I don't know how many millions of users. We have got the technology. People on TikTok, people on Facebook, on Twitter, people watch DSTV. People are out there engaging with certain things. But you make it so difficult for a person to go vote. And they only vote one day out of 4 or 5 years. And they have to be present on that day. If they have flu, they must stay at home. If they have COVID, they're not there. If they have to span on that day, work, they can't go. We need to make this thing more democratic and more inclusive. People need to be able to say their piece. So I challenge the IEC and I challenge the ANC government. I challenge the DA. I challenge the EFF to do more to get people to go and vote. We need people to register and it needs to be the easiest thing. And we need people to vote and it needs to be the easiest thing. Otherwise, we are not serious about the political situation in this country. And something will need to change because our country is going to the dogs. Anyone who says otherwise is lying. Load shedding for 10 hours. Potholes. Unemployment. Cost of living is constantly going high. Petrol keeps going up. We can't afford anything. Debt is going up. Our kids are studying, but to jobs that are not coming. We don't even know. We've got an education system that doesn't understand artificial intelligence. that doesn't understand blockchain. We are teaching kids how to go and fetch water from the river in our schooling system. When there are kids out there who are training drones how to go and find the purest water in the mountains of Lesotho to transport to Switzerland. We are not even in the game. And it's up to some of us to, not only in the business space to start, not in the online space to start, but even politically to say, and this is why we love Nhlanhla Lux, because he said, I'm putting my hand up and I will lead. And we are saying to all the kids out there, don't wait. Don't wait to be on a ballot. Don't wait to be recruited. Don't wait to be a cadre somewhere. Get up and do work. 1 hour in your community every week. Volunteer to do something. Set up a WhatsApp group. I've got a WhatsApp group. 3 WhatsApp groups in my community. Set up a WhatsApp group and get people in your community to raise the issues in the community and solve those issues. Stop whining about the ANC and the EFF and the crowdfund like AfriForum. Crowdfund, raise 20 Rand, 50 Rand, go to the local Pakistanis, whatever, get them to put money in and fix the schools and start community gardens and have a community patrol. Otherwise, now you're not serious. And whatever freedom and success you want, you don't deserve because you haven't earned it. But in a nutshell, that's what the independent candidates bill that Cyril Ramaphosa signed in is speaking to.
So as easier that we think it will be for independent candidates to ascend to power or to parliament, it's actually not as easy as it sounds.
It's harder than setting up a political party. I think Arise, I don't know if it's called Arise Mzansi or Arise South Africa, a new political party. I know Songezo Zibi, who's written an amazing book called Manifesto, is one of the guys that founded it. It's easier to set up, it's difficult to set up a political party, but it's easier to register a political party than to register as an independent legitimately and run in this country.
Who are you going to vote for?
I don't know. I answered you quickly because I think about this every single day. Everywhere I go, I ask everyone. I meet you guys. Guys, we love you so much, man. Like, DJ Spook's been a celebrity for 100 years. Khathele, ama autograph, nama selfie. Thina so mafikizolo. You know, so we love you guys. We love meeting you guys in the streets. We love engaging with you guys. We love the compliments and to what Sbu was saying, the fact that some of you have made changes in your lives because of the conversations we have. I speak to you guys all the time about who are you voting for, and you guys are honest. Pen Asazi, we don't know. Who must we vote for, Penzo? And I'm like, hey guys, I don't know.
So you don't know who you're voting for?
So what I tell people now, which is the responsible thing to do, is go and write a list of 5 to 10 to 20 things that are a pain point in your life. You don't have a job, that's a pain point. Your grandmother has to catch 2 taxis to go and get her monthly chronic medication. That's a pain point. The education at your child's school, the teachers are always drunk or not in class. Or your kids come back from school, but you realize, but my child doesn't know anything. That's a pain point. There are huge bazooka potholes in your community. Those are pain points. So write a list of your pain points. Forget the country. Forget unemployment. And your pain point is, I feel I'm being overtaxed. I make 200,000 Rand a month. Yeah. But 100,000 of that is going to the government, and I don't think it's doing the work. What is your pain point? And then try and find the political leaders or the political parties that speak to your pain point, speak, but then that are also putting in some type of work. We see Chris Papa Asemgen in KZN. We see Gayton McCain's in the Karoo. Look at the politicians that are putting in the work. It could be the ANC. You can say Ukongolos in my township. I've seen they've put up a community center. I've seen what they've done in my child's school. They've put up a community garden. I've seen what the EFF has done in my neighborhood. They've closed the potholes. That is who you must vote for. Forget who the country must vote for. Who you must vote for. And then you must also get involved. But in terms of pain, who are you going to vote for? Who speaks to your pain points? Currently, all the political parties are not speaking to my pain points because they are not saying the things I want to hear. They are not saying, let's get into active citizenry. They are not saying, guys, this is the budget we have. We have 5 million. We are going to find all the small businesses. We are going to call Theo Baloy of Vipat. We are going to call Ulikau of Vitrep. We are going to call DJ Sbo, and we're going to sit with them and say, guys, we have got 5 million. We want to invest it in you, but you guys have already started. We would like you, because you've already started, we would like to give you money. We would like you to pass it on, and you must go and find kids who are going to start a little MOFAYA cart somewhere, who are going to start a little bar to drip shop. It's airport jeans. Black coffee, we see you're a leader. We want you. We're going to give you 10 million. But we want with this 10 million for you to go and find 10 young DJs and give them R1 million each. So, and then we're going to speak about it. And you're going to post about it on social media. And you're like, that politician is a leader. Shout out to Zizi Godwa from the ANC, who has come in as the Minister of Arts and Culture, who has been going out and meeting a lot of our celebrities and celebrating them. Zola 7, Ikhrotman, Ujlamin, had his birthday and he was invited to sit. That is leadership in action. We want to see more. Don't do it now because 2024 is coming. Do more. Be on the ground. Be with the people. And if you're not on the ground with your people, send people. And then go on social media and be like, guys, I'm a minister. I'm in meetings all day, but I can tell you 5 in Twanazami that are out there, young ladies, young men who are doing work, and they are going to send me updates and I'm going to post them on my social media to show you that my ministry is working. We are working. But we need to hold these people to account. And if they're not working, let's support Gift of the Givers. Imtiaz Suleiman, doing amazing work. Let's support, I know some of our squatters and hustlers don't like this, AfriForum and some of the work they're doing in patrolling the borders, some of the work they're doing in building institutions. Let's support Soweto Parliament of Nhlanhla and the work they're doing in Soweto. You don't have to be DA to support to Chris Papas and what he's doing in Popomen, in Hilton, Mgin. You don't have to be part of Patriotic Alliance to support Gayton McKenzie. The guy went and removed bucket toilets. Gayton, please come to Ekasi. We've got bucket toilets. If Gayton's like, I can't come there, but I'll send Ukeni. I'll send someone to Shaispan. Whoever you support, EFF, Julius, say, hey, Julius can't come through. Mkhlampu Ndlozi will come through. Mkhlampu Floyd. Guys, tell us Caesar, like, we want to set up a community garden, but we'd like EFF to come there, Red Ginkani, and come and lead the way. Like, we need to be involved in running our communities. Who am I going to vote for? I don't know. I'm going to vote for myself. But I will vote next year is one thing I will tell you. And when I do vote, I will be very explicit and intentional about why I'm voting. And I'm going to explain to each and every person why I voted for that, why they must vote for that same person or party, or why they must not vote the way I voted. Because maybe I'm voting for a rich white party that is going to give me money. But they're giving me money to make sure that black people remain ignorant and poor. So I'll tell you, that's why I'm voting for them, because they gave me kwap. I secured the bag. But don't vote for them because they're not going to uplift you. I'm that type of honest.
Ask me the same question.
Come on, Sbuda. 2024, National Provincial Election, South Africa. Vote Luban.
Nizo Mkhukhu says, I will tell them 3 months prior. I'm a pinga who
Because I'm a pinga.
I will tell them 3 months prior. I will tell you 3 months prior. I will vote. But right now, I can honestly, from the bottom of my heart, tell you, I don't know.
You've always been staunch ANC. Always.
I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I can't believe that I'm saying those words. Few months away from 2024 elections. We are almost in the middle of 2023. I don't know. I don't know.
What type of political party or candidate, if you had to vote tomorrow, would you consider? Not a specific party or person, but what type of?
A servant leader. Somebody who serves. Somebody who understands that it's not just about them and their family, but it's about their community. Somebody who's on the ground. Somebody who has already started. Somebody who's got good leadership qualities that have to do with Ubuntu. And somebody who's doing undoubtedly incredible work, who is already supported by their community. Their community. Because their community will be me. I'll be a part of their community. What am I doing in my community? I am embarrassed of myself even. I can't believe that in 2023, I have not been as active as I have always been with the Sibusiso Leope Education Foundation on the ground. I started a non-profit organization, SLEF, and we said, we will do the work. And we've been doing the work. And shout out to all of you guys that I meet today. And you come to me and you're like, we're older now. We only understand now the work that you're doing with us. Thank you. Thank you. And then I say back to you, I was actually also not aware at what magnitude the work that we were doing at that time. Only now I understand the importance of that work. So I feel like I have also failed my own community by not being as active as I've always been with my foundation. And it's easy for me to give you an excuse and say, I was working.
Sure.
I was building this business. When you're working for a non-profit organization, at some point you have to raise money.
Yeah.
You have to knock on doors and ask for bursaries to take you guys to school. Today you can come to me and appreciate the work that we were doing with my team. But that bursary that we gave you, it wasn't easy to give it to you. It was difficult to get it from the government, from people who could afford to give it to you. It wasn't easy. And at some point I kind of felt like I'm a glorified beggar.
Yes.
Because that's how I was treated every time when I would come and say, these are the kids I would like to help. Even if it's just 10 bursaries, we would appreciate it as an organization. Even if it's just 60 bursaries, we would appreciate it. Such and such, we're using our radio platform to call you, to put you in the spotlight. Please help this kid. That's the work we're doing. And then at some point, I kind of felt I'm a glorified beggar. They don't give you these things. They make it difficult to give to you. It is as if you're going to give these things to your own family.
Yes.
How do I come up with a structure, with a system where people out there can give me 10 Rand and then I will make sure that that 10 Rand goes to good use? And that was the birth of this with me and Sipiwe. We called it a protest project because they say, buy one MOFAYA can, it takes kids to school. You remember the message when the brand started and we were very loud about it. I was like, okay, let me rather, instead of focusing on my SLEF foundation with all of this incredible work that we're doing, and I have to acknowledge all of the people that were a part of the foundation. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the work that we all did, and we were not paid for it. And it's not like we did it to get paid, but I'm proud of all of you. I used to say to you guys, uNkulunkulu will reward you in his own way. And I see a lot of you guys are doing well. uNkulunkulu is rewarding you today. I'm so proud of all of you guys. Thank you for serving with me. It was humbling. It's always been humbling, the work we've been doing over the years. And as it grows, we are making a difference. Yes, we are taking kids to school. But now that your time is more focused on this, we no longer see you at our schools anymore. My Grotman, my uncle, my timer, my mother says you used to come to their school. But I've never seen you at our school. What are we doing today? So I feel like a politician who's failed his people, because as much as I've gone on to go start a for-profit organization that gives back, but I don't feel emptier. I know that we're doing incredible work. I know that we could do more. So with that being said I have to go back to the ground. I have to go back and play my part. Not because I want to be in politics one day, not because I want to lead. I've been leading all these years.
You're still leading now.
I've been leading by example on the ground.
Yeah.
But I don't think I am on the ground as much as I would like to be, as much as I have been on the ground. And I think that calls for SLEF and organizations like us and individuals like us, as you were mentioning, for us to just raise our hands and saying, we don't even want to be elected. We are going back to go serve our communities. We're not going to wait for political leaders. We're going to go back and do the work. And that is me. But in terms of who am I going to vote for, I don't know. I will tell you 3 months prior.
You're actually reminding me to go back and revive the Mamsim Locha Foundation. I'm thinking of a deep question in my head. But I also want to tell you, one of the cheat codes I learned from AfriForum. The deep question in my head, and you don't really have to answer it, is, do we sometimes have to sacrifice the good for the better good? Do you sometimes need to shut down a SLEF, a Mamsim Locha Foundation, so that you can focus on going to get the money? so that other foundations don't have to struggle like you struggled. Because while you're busy with SLEF, the Mamsi Foundation, you're not making the money and you're struggling and you become a glorified beggar. You're right. You have to beg. People end up calling you funny names. Hey, every week, and you're like, yo, kids have to eat.
And they used to feel
Kids
like
have
that.
to go
When
to
I used to
school.
ask them for meetings, I could see them feeling like that.
Frustrated.
And then they know we are coming to do good work.
I know Elon Musk, I think, Steve Jobs more popularly, they never did charity. Never. And one of the arguments they made is if you look at the amount of jobs I create, amount of families I feed through the jobs I create, if you look at the amount of tax we pay as a company and the amount of tax that our employees pay, that is all the charity that will ever be needed. If I can create 100,000 jobs through MOFAYA and 20,000 entrepreneurs that are all feeding their families, that are all paying tax, what more charity do you want me to do? What more must I do? Because I'm doing everything. So it becomes tough on, should you at some point sacrifice the good for the better good? Or should you always
lose
do
the
both?
battle to win the war?
Yeah, it's tough.
It's a tough one, yeah.
So I was sent into AfriForum as Impi. I want to send a shout out to Kali Kriel. I want to send a shout out to Aaron's Roots. I want to send a shout out to Aaron's Van Sale.
Izinja zakhe.
Parent Ace. Die mannen van AfriForum. Baie dankie manne. Ons is baie trots op die manne. Baie dankie bulle. I want to send a shout out, man, to AfriForum and the example that they've led. I know people don't understand why I appreciate AfriForum, why I'm a paying member. I've looked at the work they've done, to what you've said about servant leadership. And sitting with Aaron Van Sale, really amazing young guy, really passionate South African, really passionate Afrikaner. I learned that one of the cheat codes of AfriForum,
What's the cheat code?
So AfriForum, I think, has about 300,000 paying members at an average of 100 Rand to 150 Rand per month. If you do the maths, that comes up to 30 million to 45 million Rand a month that they raise through crowdfunding, through what you call a stock fail. I thought that was their cheat code. I thought 300,000 members, 30 to 45 million Rand a month. You have all the money in the world to do amazing things, to have neighborhood patrol, to build a Soltech, which is an amazing skills development institution, to help people that do the patrolling, to be able, they've set up their own Netflix for Afrikaans content. They've built an amazing head office, which I had the privilege of touring, and all the amazing work they do for Afrikaans people and minorities in South Africa. I thought that was their cheat, the money and the cheat of AfriForum and where they win is in their volunteers. Forget the money. Forget the head office. Forget all the PR. AfriForum is powerful because they have got selfless white Afrikaners who put up their hands every week for free. Gratis in Afrikaans. For free, they patrol their neighborhoods. They take their lawnmowers and they cut grass. They take their money outside of paying membership and they go and they buy this bag that all Gates and McKenzie were buying with this tar thing that they used to close potholes. They volunteered to do that themselves. I'm saying this because when you look at SLEF, you look at the Mamsi Foundation, you look at the Gift of the Givers, you look at maybe even Soweto Parliament, you look at a lot of these amazing organizations, including the ANC, the EFF, maybe the DA. A lot of the soldiers that grow these organizations, that feed the kids, that it is not money from the party. It is not money from a big, it is from ordinary people. In 2015, I was very blessed to run the Two Oceans Marathon in Cape Town, one of the most beautiful ultra marathons I've run. I ran the Comrades Marathon. It was uphill from Durban to Pietermaritzburg, 87 to 89 kilometers. Ran the Comrades. I was very proud of myself.
So you've ran the Comrades?
And
you finished it?
I ran it, I finished it. I've got my medal to prove.
I'm proud of you. I can't believe it's almost 15 years Kabelo has been asking me.
You have to start.
Too. I will do it.
You have to start. Shout out to Kabelo Mabalane, man. He's an amazing ambassador.
He's been getting me to try and do it since YFM days. I will do it anyway.
2024?
No, not 2024.
2025?
Because apparently
months.
you must start. Yeah, that's what he says. I'll answer you on the next episode. I hope I would have made the decision by then.
I ran the Comrades Marathon in 2015. I had an amazing support group. My family, my romantic partners at the time, my children. You pay money to run the Comrades, you get your numbers, you have to qualify. You don't just run it. You have to run a qualifying time for a normal, ordinary marathon, which is 42.1, I think, kilometers. When you run the Comrades, it's one of the most beautiful experiences. And in my head, I was like, if I were to have this type of support in anything I do in my life, there's nothing I would not be able to conquer. Nothing. Those are volunteers. That is the secret formula. Getting ordinary South Africans to put their hands up. And Aaron van Sale told me this, and I'm stealing it. 30 minutes to 1 hour per week. Just volunteer in your neighborhood. You can just take a walk and note the potholes and say in the WhatsApp group, there's a pothole here. You can be in a WhatsApp group and say, guys, I teach maths. If you've got kids that are struggling, I donate an hour every week to teach kids maths. I donate an hour every week to play soccer with kids. Guys, look, I don't have any kids, but I'm 35 years old. If you guys have got young boys who need a mentor in Ikhrodman, call them to me. I'll tell them about the times maybe I did drugs. I used to be an alcoholic. I'll give them advice on relationships. I'll mentor young boys. If you're a woman, I'll mentor young girls for 30 minutes to an hour per week. I will cut grass. I have a lawnmower. Oh, hey, I don't have time. I can donate my lawnmower for people to cut grass. Guys, I can't do an hour a week. I'm busy. But I'm willing to, all the people that are here, I will donate 200 Rand a week to all the volunteers for energy drinks, for any money that you need. Those little things, which is what happened during apartheid with the churches that were used as meeting spaces, with the kokos that were using some of their money. Mandi Samashekho was on the panel show speaking about people that sold their homes to fundraise for this freedom. For Moses that is leading us Israelites from Egypt to see the promised land, we will contribute. And I realize that is the secret weapon and the secret formula that AfriForum has. And if all of us were to do that in our communities, we complain a lot, but uhambe uyovali pothole. Go and plant a peach tree because you see the kids are hungry and you're like, I will plant peach trees once a month, so that the children of my community don't go hungry. If they're hungry, I say, I planted peach trees for you. I will go house to house and I will give them a chicken. Sanbona mama, I just want to give you a chicken because I know people are hungry in our community. Please make sure we'll find a way maybe to bring you umbila, maize, to feed them. Maybe someone else will bring, but you guys at least have chicken meat. And if this chicken can lay eggs, you have food. But mom, I'm asking you as I give you this chicken that some of the eggs that it gives, please give them to someone else. And then when your children are ready, please show them what I'm doing here. This is why I believe in charity where you show. When people are like, why you show? Because it inspires others. Show the children, Guti, this guy who we don't know from above soap has given us. I remember watching a clip here, Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins is one of the most famous speakers in the world. Last I checked, he was worth $500 million, $500 million. And he speaks about every year how many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of families they feed. And he speaks about how they used to struggle during Christmas. And what stuck to him through all the years were random families came out of nowhere to give them gifts, to give them food, so that they could have a beautiful Christmas like other families out there. Like, those kind of things when you're young and you see them happen. When you have a little bit, when you're a bit older, you can't help but think, I saw human angels in my life. And the least I can do is the light that was given to me in my darkness is to pass it on, even if it's just to one person. 50 Rand, 100 Rand. One of my favorite things that I do, and I know I want to do more of this, and shout out to PI Pagati, going to impoverished areas, kutsaring in a corner, at a ShopRite, at a Boxer, at a Cambridge, And just identifying mhlampe that are with their grandkids who are buying groceries, and just go up to them and just leave like 100 rand. And be like, Gogo, your God or your ancestors send me to you to just be like, they love you, and kubega. Carry on doing what you're doing. And make sure that the kids understand that all of us must carry on doing this thing.
Like Malcolm X, né?
Like Malcolm X.
Because he started that
Mayor of
culture.
Center. B.I. Pagati.
B.I. Pagati. Shout out to B.I. Pagati, sure.
50 rand. I'm going to buy a box of hot wings. You're like, ish, hot wings. You're taking good. You're like, okay, yazin. So taking good as 2. And then I'm going to take this money and I'm going to do a random act of kindness somewhere. Becomes a game changer. You live in a country that becomes the promised land because you are part of what makes it magical.
This episode has just inspired me to go back into my servant leadership on the ground. And you're correct. As much as when you build these businesses and you've got all these thousands of kids all over the country in street corners selling MOFAYA and making a living for themselves. Yes, you are making a difference, but I still feel with a certain part of my time, I need to go back to the ground.
Yeah.
I miss the ground. I miss being on the ground with the people, speaking to the people, hearing the people's cries, doing my bit. And when I say I'm going to go back, it's not as if that had stopped, but I think just like I was checking myself a few weeks ago about fatherhood.
Yes.
It's the same thing. I'm checking myself now. I'm going to go back. Yeah. And going back now, this is for the rest of my life. I'm not going to check out. I did not check out. I changed the way on how I've been doing the work.
You went to go get the resources for the work you're doing.
Yeah. But now I'm going to go back also to be present on the ground because I also understand what that does, especially coming from a person like me.
Yeah.
Where my currency is my face to a lot of people. I think that also matters and it shouldn't be taken for granted. So thank you for this episode. You've inspired me to go and do that again.
Squatters, if I may.
Yeah.
Squatters, hustlers. We spoke about this last year. I know some of you guys hold us accountable. We spoke about setting up an NPO for the virtual Mkhukhu. We may not get there, but we do have our own charity foundations. And my appeal to you guys, find us, reach us, volunteer. That's what I was saying was the secret hack. Sbusiso Liope Education Foundation, Mamsim Loja Foundation. We don't need to ask you to go and make t-shirts to start a soup kitchen. You don't even need to use these names. We are asking you because you believe in what we're doing and we believe in you. Hold us to account. Tell us I'm running a soup kitchen. It would be nice if you come through because it was inspired by you. We are asking you guys to volunteer because we have limited time. We have limited resources. But our cheat is you guys. You guys as our subscribers, our viewers, our paying members. We need you guys to also now help us in your communities. Sbu said a couple of weeks ago, we want to come to your tertiary institutions. Some of you have DM'd us, time, resources, etc. But you must also keep the dream alive. And I'm appealing to you guys to please volunteer and do work and then invite us and we will try. If we can't, we will send. Because we are a network and we will send other people to come in our space or in our place to come and do that type of work. I think before we shut the episode off, I know this guy was dragged, so let me not drag him. Let me appeal to him. The Premier of the Western Cape, Ellen Windy. I'd like to appeal to Ellen Windy, the Premier of the Eastern Cape, to please reconsider his stance, to maybe please apologize. So Ellen Windy went public platform and said that if the leader of Russia, Vladimir Putin, lands in the Western Cape, he will have him arrested. Which people laughed about. People challenged him. Some politicians were like, no, he doesn't have the power. That stuff needs to go through national government and security. And our national government stance and the ANC as the leading party stance is we have diplomatic relationships with Russia, with America, with Ukraine, etc. Vladimir Putin is welcome to come to the BRICS summit later on in the year. But at the same time, we are a signatory of the International Criminal Court, the ICC. Cyril Ramaphosa, Fikile Mbalula said we're going to withdraw, and then Cyril turned around the next day and said, no, we're not going to withdraw. It's a conversation that is still going to be held. The bottom line is this. People don't understand geopolitics. We have got a country which has a history, and we've got an economic plain. America is one of our biggest, if not our biggest economic partners. That's why we kind of need to have a good relationship with them, and Germany and Japan and China. Russia is not a big economic ally of ours for various reasons historically. What that means is if you look at McDonald's, Nike, YouTube, Twitter, those are all American companies, your iPhone. We can't say the same about Russia. We can't say, but our fast food outlets and our cell phones and our cars are from Russia. But we have an amazing relationship with Russia because they were very sensitive to the plight of black people during the struggle. They've never colonized any nation. They helped us even with weapons when we were fighting for our liberation. So it becomes very difficult and it causes tension when white South Africans who are beneficiaries of colonization and apartheid want to tell us we must forget about Russia, which was an ally of the oppressed South Africans. With that being said, of course, we have economic ties and somewhat a good relationship with America. So we also can't snuff America and the West or the United Kingdom. We can't have a national view and then have a leader of a province go out and tell the world, if your president comes here, we will arrest him. Because imagine America doesn't play those games. Imagine we are trying to have good relationships with an America and you have a premier of KwaZulu-Natal or the Eastern Cape saying if Joe Biden lands in KZN, we will arrest him. Because someone in BRICS said that he is a war criminal. If you look at Barack Obama, if you look at George Bush, and there are hundreds of the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of people that were killed in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Iran.
And Libya.
And then you have a premier say, if George Bush lands here, we will arrest him. Do you know that how that affects our politics as a country? We could have drones coming to bomb us here because of something as reckless as that. If a Cyril Ramaphosa and if a Naledi Pandor don't call that person to order and they tell him, you can't say that. That affects our sovereignty as a nation. That affects our diplomatic relations. So I think Alan Winde was wrong to say that. I don't know who sent him to say that, but I hope he finds reason and apologizes and says, look, we will discuss and consult. I know he's one of the national security advisors. Sydney Mufamadi has been sent now by our government to go and speak in America, to go and explain that, look, some of the things that we've been saying about Russia, we are just trying to maintain diplomatic relationships because we are a country that has got certain relationships with all of these countries. We can't just snub a Russia, America, unfortunately. You may not like them for your own reasons, but these people helped us. Please understand the compromised position we're in. We're also, and I think Putin understands this, we can't just snub America because we have such strong economic ties with them. If you think about it from an ordinary South African perspective, you can't just snub a Pick and Pay and a Woolworths and a ShopRite and a DSTV because it's run by white Jewish people or it's run by white Afrikaners. There are so many black South Africans who are employed through ShopRite. There are so many amazing, some of our favorite shows on DSTV. There are so many people who have been given scholarships, who have been fed by a Pick and Pay. Yes, we want economic transformation, of course. Yes, we must support some of the black businesses that are rising up now. We have to. So you can't have those white businesses come and tell us, stop buying your parts, MOFAYA. No, you can't tell us that. Because if you look at where we come from, these are our people. But now you also can't tell these guys also, hey, stop shopping at, come on guys. My aunt works at these companies. My family is being fed by these companies. So we in our own lives need to maintain these diplomatic relationships. But they must understand. Tsepo Jeans, Makhosa, all of these, they must understand that, guys, if we're going to be supporting you, it must be for the benefit and the betterment of South Africans. And your Pick and Pays and your Woolies and your DSTVs and your Mediclinics and your Discoveries, they must understand that we're not just going to support you blindly. You must invest in our communities and uplift us and ensure that there's transformation. Otherwise, this country is not going to work. And once we're not working, then you open up space for foreigners to come in and infiltrate us and to dominate and colonize us again. That's some of the work that some of us are doing. That's why you see us with rich white people. That's why you see us with organizations you don't like. But then we also sit with some of your favorite people that you love. Because we are trying to build a Springbok South Africa that has a goal of becoming an amazing economic powerhouse, an economic tourist destination, an amazing tourist destination, a beautiful, safe country to live in. And it means all of us need to pull our weight The rich guys need to come to the table. The poor guys need to work. The grant recipients need to make sure after they've received their grants, they do something. The politicians need to stop looting. And each and every one of us needs to do something so that we can have a beautiful, prosperous South Africa as envisioned by the Freedom Charter, by the preamble in the Constitution, by Thabo Mbeki speaking about I am an African, by Nelson Mandela, and by all of us who really want this country to work. There is a continent, there is a world that is constantly watching us because they want us to win, because they love us so much. Miriam Makeba, Prahu Masayela, obviously, Black Coffee, or Trevor, or Tusombedu. There are so many South Africans, Ladysmith, Black Mambazo, Soweto Gospel Choir. They are billionaires, Elon Musk, Petro. There are so many South Africans that have shown the beauty of this nation. And we almost have a responsibility, going back to Freedom Day, of preserving the little bit we have and then building it to be so much better. The World Cup is coming. I know Sia Kolisi is injured. Like say, Sia, I can't say Grootman because he's younger than me. Sia, I hope you recover. If you don't, I hope you'll go through as an ambassador, with the boys. If you haven't watched it, Chasing the Sun, an amazing documentary about the Springbok victory at the last World Cup. If you watch that documentary and you listen to Mapimpi's story, which has you chopping onions, and you listen to Rassie Erasmus, and you listen to the white Afrikaans guys in the Springboks, and the black guys in the Springboks, and the colored guys, you realize we've got a beautiful country. And it's up to us to somehow keep fighting for this country to work. And when Abo Ellen Wendy do these things, it's very ignorant. And I hope he will have reason and apologize so that we can move forward and build better relations with Russia, with the Ukraine, with an America, with the United Kingdom. But we as South Africans must put South Africa first. I'm waiting for the day we have a leader like a Xi Jinping, like a Muammar Gaddafi, like a Vladimir Putin, like a Joe Biden, like a Donald Trump, like a John Magufuli from Tanzania, may he rest in peace. People, a leader that puts South Africans first. We want to win. Other people want us to win because when we win, almost like sometimes in America, when South Africa wins, Africa wins, SADC wins. So many other people in the world win because we are a beautiful nation that wants the world to win.
Thank you so much, Pen. My last words will be, thank you very much to ShopRite Checkers for eventually getting MOFAYA an opportunity to sell in your Gauteng ShopRite stores. Means a lot to us. We appreciate it. MOFAYA is turning 10 in a few months.
Jeez,
at the beginning.
Zulu, come on.
Yeah, at the beginning of 2024. And then last year in 2022, finally, eventually, we're given an opportunity to prove ourselves in Gauteng. Depending on how we prove ourselves in Gauteng, then we will be nationwide as the energy drink, as the MOFAYA energy drink. We will then be able to sell nationwide at ShopRite Checkers. So I just wanted to thank you, ShopRite Checkers. We appreciate this opportunity. We will prove ourselves. Our numbers will prove themselves. Why am I saying this? Because some people have been asking me to do a video, which I did on my YouTube, of Prime Energy Drink versus MOFAYA. And then I did do that video not based on taste and not based on comparing the two brands, but basically saying it's beautiful. By the way, for those who don't know, Prime Energy Drink is an energy drink that is partly owned by a YouTuber by the name of Logan Paul.
Yeah. One of the most popular YouTubers on the planet.
Yeah. And congratulations to ShopRite Checkers for, I think they were advertising that it will be, or it is available at ShopRite Checkers. I didn't want to bring politics into this, but I have to mention this, that we work very hard, and for a 10-year-old company to be celebrating in its 9th year, to appreciate ShopRite Checkers and appreciate the opportunity of proving ourselves in Gauteng. We want to eat. Siyakokota, siyacela nisinike ithuba lokuthi siziprove nje lana nje. Uma singangena la siyathembisa ukuthi uma singangena kuyo yonke indawo sizoperform.
Siyathembisa.
How? And then we have Figu, Logan Paul, Vumbu, hype, everything, great, advertising. There's a lot we have to reconsider as a government, as a South Africa. Black business people out there, black entrepreneurs, I feel your pain. Trust me, I feel you. I know what you're going through because I've been going through it all of my life. I've been going through it over the past 10 years. It hurts. It does hurt. It completely hurts. Because they don't know how it's like to be out there in the firing line. And then you just look and it's like, zoom, boom. Oh, wow. Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. In your own country. Yeah. But congratulations once again also to the company that is marketing the brand new energy drink. I did do the video. Go check it out. It is on my YouTube. And to encourage you guys, incredible campaign. Looking forward to seeing what type of other campaigns you guys will be coming up with. There's a lot for us to learn from you. But also, I just want to say to black business owners out there, black entrepreneurs, the fight continues. Aluta, bantwana basekhaya. For me, this is a reminder. Ukuthi not yet uhuru.
I think in closing again, firstly, happy birthday again to my boy, Zulu Khosim Locho. I love you very much, boy. If you're going to see this video, anyone that's going to be close to him, that's going to show him this video, Dwanayam, I love you so much. I hope I'll see you soon. I believe in you. I look forward to building and growing with you and bringing you so that you can join this entire network that your father has kind of built in his life. If not that, then obviously you'll always refer back to these videos. I love you, I miss you, and I hope I'll see you soon. To all the workers, bonke abasebenzi baseningizimu Africa, I apologize to all our international viewers, but I have to say this in the most spoken language in the country, which is isiZulu, under the Nguni banner. Kuba bonke abasebenzi bala eningizimu Africa, siyanthanda bafowethu. Siyanthanda, siyawubona umsebenzi enwenzayo. Sinongena sinosbusiso kule itolo enisebenza kuzo. Siyaliza uthande silithola kini. Niyasikhuthaza njoba nani nihlala nisikhumbuza ukuthi siyanikhuthaza. Sicela niqhubeke niphushe. Nibekezele. Nimisele. Because yes, as Usbuda has said, not yet uhuru, but the reality is we are working towards something. And we can't all be business owners. We can't all be entrepreneurs. We can't all be trailblazers. When you build anything that's amazing in the world, you're going to have your kings. You're going to have your advisors. And then the most important people, to be fully honest, are the soldiers, the foot soldiers. You guys keep this country ticking. Without you, rich people don't exist. Without you, social welfare does not exist. Without you, politicians have no budget. Without you, we don't get to enjoy. Even on this holiday that you guys are enjoying, there are people that are working. We love you. We appreciate you. I know you are not appreciated enough. And I hope that in time we will find a way to celebrate you guys. We need to celebrate our workers. And to our workers, keep working. But we see you. Every time I bump into workers and they come up to me, they tell me, thank you so much for the work you guys are doing. And I'm like, guys, it's thanks to you. You guys are the ones doing the real work. And it's up to us to obviously tell your stories. If you work at a fuel station, if you work at a retail store, if you work at a call center, if you work in government as an administrator, if you work as a school teacher or nurse, if you work as a traffic officer, if you work as a police officer, if you are a junior manager, a middle manager, a senior manager, an executive, if you work 9 to 5, if you work 6 to 10, if you work on the weekends, if you work night shift, we love you guys and we appreciate you. If no one is seeing you, please know that we are seeing you. This is your day and we celebrate you. Happy Workers' Day to each and every one of you.
Love you, my brother. Good to see you. I recorded a dope episode with Penson Mloja.
Come on.
The better looking brother.
Hey, sick.
That episode is coming soon here on Virtual Mkhukhu. We'll see you guys soon. Love you.
Cheers.
I repeat, the better looking brother.
Doesn't know what he's talking about. This guy. He wears glasses. Come on.